Hello back everybody. I welcome back my old viewers and new viewers on Revolution of the Truth channel. The broadcasting of this channel had stopped in 2011 for reasons of safety and security. Today, a few points I want to clear to viewers who misunderstood me in 2010 and 2011. I immigrated to Canada believing in the enchanted Canadian values with regard to human rights. I didn't think much about the Canadian system and whether human rights they claimed were true or not, because I didn't have a choice except to immigrate to Canada. I was happy and enthusiastic about my future in Canada, believing that the doors of success and opportunities were open to every citizen. I didn't work in Canada to be rich, even though I dreamt of being one in my early years. However, I was confident that I would be respected for any job I did in Canada and would make living out of these jobs. I believed, even before coming to Canada, that the Canadian system would pay hard labor jobs more than what other countries would do, and that these payments would be comparable to payments of relatively high paying jobs. I didn't think of my racial background as an obstacle, as Canada was supposed to respect multiculturalism. Religion issues were not on top of my mind. I wasn't religious, and I am not proud because I wasn't religious. But I am reminding that my protest against the system was not and is not religiously or politically motivated. They say Canadian cities are beautiful. How can any homeless, which include anyone living in rooming houses, enjoys the roads, public buildings and public parks, or any beauty they claim in the city when he or she is homeless? It seems to be that we were welcomed into Canada to be slaves, disrespected and humiliated. The real Muslims, we real Muslims don't look for heaven on earth and luxury, but we look to improve our lives to achieve the maximum health. We, however, don't accept being deprived of our basic necessities, or the paths to getting them are cut short. A place to live and call a home is a basic necessity. Hiding and pretending to be proponent of the system are means of choice for many Muslims who recognize that the system is oppressive, but they still need to unite. Logistically. Many of those advised me to hide and pretend to be non-religious supporter of the system. I tried to hide from and be hypocrite with the oppressors who controlled every aspect of my life, but I couldn't, because I couldn't lie and act hypocrite, and because my unique case being a poor, lonely, young, healthy male provoked intolerable harassment and harm from those oppressors and their servants and their dumps whose places I was thrown into by the system. Those who are able to hide, then do it. For me and people like me, whether I talk or not, the oppressors and their affiliates were and still are determined on sanctioning me and harming me without killing me for reasons I explained. I welcome anyone rich, having more than $1 million, or anyone in control in the Canadian government or society who is able and willing to give a real helping hand. The majority of members of the Canadian government and its affiliates treat Muslims who criticize their system, especially economically, as terrorists or mentally ill, whereas those who threatens non-Muslims to convert to Islam and kill who leaves Islam are treated as moderate Muslims. Those Muslims who criticize the system are pariah in Canada, not only socially, which is acceptable, but also economically, and they are illegally and served and harassed in the government and public institutions. Such techniques are not smart and not new, as they are some of the easy hypocrite means that were used in human history against minorities. Comically, when we stumble on the sidewalk, loud, ugly screams, which are supposed to be laughs, erupt from behind, as if retards have just achieved eternal victory. The mean people in the Canadian government and society wish to starve Muslims to death, but there are some human rights rules set in the Canadian system right after World War II, when human rights treaties were signed, as some of the corners on which the United Nations, United Evils, was established. Some of these rules dictates that no one should be hungry, clothless, homeless, etc. The co-signers of these treaties were reluctant to sign it, but they wanted to pretend to be good. One of the proofs on what I am saying is that the United Nations don't discuss human rights violations and atrocities against civilians, especially children, until after these violations become public and the whole world sees